I'm on one. Wow. There it is. Yep. Yeah, let's go here.
Welcome to Control. Here you will learn how to update your profile and add a picture, notification settings,
Okay, beautiful. Oh my gosh, you have your computer is backwards to mine on how you swipe. No, yeah, you are weird. No, it's really fine. It's gonna be good. Are we live? Awesome. Okay. Okay, good morning, fabulous school. This is interesting to not have anybody right here to respond to, so I'm going to be looking up at you lovely ladies for a bit. So good morning. Today, I'm hoping you're all joining. Today we're going to be doing some work through Schoology, and I know a lot of you have a lot of familiarity with Schoology in different ways, and some of you have been using it for all years of high school. However, we really want to make sure that we are set up so you can use it in the best way possible, and that you know every piece of how to submit an assignment and make sure you're set. So I know there's going to be some of you that this might be redundant, but there may be things in here, and I almost guarantee there is one or two things in this that will actually help you feel a little bit more confident in certain areas of using Schoology. Also ways to personalize it and things like that. For if you haven't used Schoology before, this is a really important time for you to pay attention, to make sure that you understand really what we're going to be using throughout this year for your grades. And we're going to talk about how to check your grades and see feedback from teachers, how to check and see where your attendance is, and then just how to make sure you can use that whether we're on campus or off campus. So our biggest piece is making sure you're prepared and we're prepared for any event that we're in. Obviously, we want to be here. But all of your stuff will be working through Schoology. So this will be important for you to know in this. So our first piece we talk about is when we're looking at Schoology, one of the most important pieces that we have to make sure everybody is doing is that they are logging in correctly. So if you are logging into Schoology, and I need everybody to check this. So for right now, I need you to get out your computer, and I'm going to give you just a second to get out your computer and get logged into Schoology the way you have normally, and we'll check to make sure that you're correct. So I'll give you a few minutes, or really about 35 seconds, to get out your computer and log into Schoology. Good? Okay. I'm going to use these fabulous people in here as a gauge, but hopefully you are logged into Schoology now. Remember, you can find all the information for your courses by selecting courses up here at the top, and it should show you a list of all the courses that you're currently enrolled in. What you should see, hopefully, is you should see on here that I've added a course for you today that is called Student Schoology 101. So we have some amazing teachers who have helped build a course for you this summer that was really trying to help make sure that it covered the fundamentals. You'll be in this course throughout the year. And this is not necessarily one that you have to be in all the time, but if you forget how to do something, this is a great place to reference back to. But before we do that, before we go in there, what I do want you to check is to make sure up here at the top, this URL bar up above, that should say lca.schoology.com. If it does not, if it says app.schoology.com, we've got a problem. We're in basically the old way of logging in. If yours says app.schoology.com, what I need you to do is I need you to go over to your name on the far right, click the drop down, and click log out. So you're going to fully log out. When you do that, you're going to then now in a new tab, you're going to type in, same thing as before, lca.schoology.com, and it should auto ask you to authenticate with your Google email account. And that means you don't have to remember another password, and it also means it will connect you with all of the apps that we use, so different things like Edpuzzle or Discovery Ed will work well. But it needs to say lca.schoology.com. Teachers, if you've got anybody who's having trouble getting logged in or is having some issues with their account in any way, I'd like the teacher to email me, because I'm going to go over a couple things really quickly, and then I'm going to step off and turn this over, and I'll start to answer some of those emails as we have time. So if you've got anybody who can't get in, it's not the end of the world. Take a breath and look on with somebody else, or just watch the screen. You should be good. If anybody can't get into their account or can't figure out how to get themselves out of app.schoology.com, then just email me and I'll make sure to connect with them. But just the teacher email me, not the student. That'll keep it a little bit more concise. So we're logged in through lca.schoology.com. The other piece we want to make sure is that if you don't have Google Chrome as a browser, an internet browser on your computer, we want to make sure you get it. So if you don't, you're going to actually go to a website or go to a new tab, and you can just type in, I want Google Chrome, download. Chrome, download. And you're going to go through the process of downloading and installing Google Chrome. I'm not going to walk through all of that right now, but the reason I say this is because you'd use that download Chrome button there to download it, install it on your computer. The reason is because Google Chrome plays really, really nicely with all of our stuff. Because we're a Google school, we have all of our stuff set up for email, Google Apps, and things like that. You want to make sure you're in Google Chrome. So we go through lca.schoology.com, and our preferred method is going through Google Chrome. From there, we get into our Schoology account, we can get into our courses, and we're going to actually go to our courses, and we're going to click on the Student Schoology 101 course. So I'm going to open this up, and it should bring you to a page that looks like this. Yours may not say all of this up at the top, because it's the administrator's account for it. But in here, you should see folders. There's a Welcome and Getting Started folder. There's a couple some interesting things, and we're not going to go through everything one by one. But this is going to give you an idea of what pieces in this course are going to be there for you throughout the year. So what I want you to do is you scroll down, and I want you to go to the Module 1, the Launchpad, which is saying basically what are the essentials for a successful launch into Schoology. So we talked about where and how to log in. So we're logging in through Google Chrome and through lca.schoology.com, which web browser, Google Chrome, and how to find your course materials and update. So you can find your courses by clicking up here at this top corner to see all the courses you're enrolled in. It should automatically pop you into materials to see the materials for the class. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want you to click on that folder to open the Launchpad. And in here, this logging in and navigation is a lot of what I've talked about. And we're going to open this quiz here in just a second. The only piece we haven't talked about is Schoology just in general. Please remember that even though Schoology is an online platform, you've got to treat it the same way you would treat in-person discussions and group projects, things like that. So be really mindful and respectful of how you're using Schoology. So keeping everything appropriate and staying respectful within those discussions. So even though it can be a little bit different because you're behind a screen, we're making sure we're adhering to all of our same policies in Schoology as well. So I want you to take about 1 minute. I want you to click this Do You Know How to Launch into Schoology quiz. And I want you to take, it's a 5-question quiz. Should be super quick. And this is just also exposure to a quiz for you. And then I'm going to pass the mic over to Ms. Caswell. For our next section, we're going to give you about a minute to take that quiz. So take that now. Well, check on one. I pull back in. Let's see. Let me make this. Are you changing it? We love technology, friends. This is the stuff we learn. And we've got people in here that are helping us out. And it said it's not accepting submissions. We're going to fix that real fast and then have you do this. I can do it if you want to.
What now?
I just told everybody that. Yep. So I'm coming back in. Everybody go ahead and click refresh. You're going to do this right up at the top. Click refresh up here to refresh that screen and see if it's working now. Now it should be working. I've got some thumbs up in here, so everybody try it now. Sorry, guys. This is the joys of learning fun things in technology. So refresh, and they should be good.
Is it in?
That's,
okay.
remember I said to email me. Okay, perfect.
What? Okay. Go to my courses, though, and just check and see if it's just not showing on his screen. So go to my courses and look at the listing, and it may be there, just not up on the big screen like it is for, because it's an extra course in there. Just check that. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll do about 30 more seconds, and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, so once you've completed the assessment, we're going to go back into our course in the materials section, and that is your Launchpad section, so you're done with that piece. Then we'll move on to the mission control. This is more just kind of the personalization piece for your Schoology, being able to get the updates that you want for your courses, and then also updating your profile picture, and then integrating your Google Drive, which is super important as you're submitting assignments this year. So let's click on Mission Control, and then we're going to go under Understanding Mission Control. So we're going to watch the video. It's actually my voice, which is going to be kind of fun to listen to your own voice, but we'll pause in the different sections here. So we'll update our profile, give you a chance to do that, and then we'll move on through the sections, okay? So let me make this big. Maybe.
Welcome to Mission Control. Here you will learn how to update your profile and add a picture, manage your notification settings, and integrate your Google Drive. So let's get started. To update your profile and add a picture, you'll come here to the top right of your screen and select your profile. Once in your profile, you can hover over your image and you'll see a text box that will appear to edit the picture. Here you can attach any file from your photos, but one that teachers can properly identify you with. Once you've updated, then now your profile is set. The next thing you're going to want.
Okay, so let's pause there. Y'all go in and update your profile picture if you haven't already while you were listening. Yeah, maybe a picture without a mask of you so we can see your beautiful faces. And appropriate, also legacy approved pictures. Selecting the appropriate photo can always be a difficult part, right? Not required, just a way to personalize it. It doesn't have to be a picture of you. It can be a picture of something you like, too, if you want to do it that way. Okay, the next piece is going to be managing your notifications and settings. This is really important. It's going to give you all the updates you need from your courses and from when grades are posted and those kind of pieces. So let's get the video.
Want to do is manage your notifications in your settings. Your notifications will come from the courses that you're enrolled in and will tell you things like when new assignments are posted, due dates, when teachers have commented on an assignment that you've posted, those kinds of things. And you'll find that here where this bell is at. And once you select it, you'll be able to see notifications that you might have. So you want to control the settings on those because you'll receive emails based on some of the notifications that you get. So in order to do that, you'll come back over to where your profile was and you'll select settings. Once in settings, you'll select the notifications tab. And then here's where you want to look for your courses. So under academic, you can see where you can turn on and off for things like your course updates. And you're definitely going to want to leave it on for that. This is where teachers will post daily updates for courses, really important information. So it's always best to leave this one on. As far as your course comments on updates, assignments, or discussions, this is also a great one to turn on, and you just do that by selecting the drop-down box. This will allow you to see any comments that are on an assignment that maybe you've submitted, so that if your teacher is trying to communicate with you about a change or something that they liked, you'll be able to know that that's there. The comments on my post, this is if you're maybe participating in a discussion and another classmate comments back. If you leave that notification on, then you'll receive an email for it. That one's up to you. I like to kind of turn that one off. Then your course content that's created, this is if your teacher posts something new within the course in terms of content. You could receive an email for that or you could not. And then this one, course materials overdue, you definitely want to turn on because this will give you that notification if you've missed something, and it's always good to have an email reminder to be able to go back and do that. The next two sections are about groups that you may be a part of. This is if like Lead Legacy has a group that they've formed on here and you want, and then any public groups that you may be a part of. The last piece is your school updates, and you definitely want to have those on so that you'll receive all that important information. And then you just hit Save Changes, and you'll see that everything's been updated. The last piece that we'll
Okay, so let's take a few minutes to kind of look through those notification pieces and enable the sections that you need. Really important to remember to hit the Save Changes button at the bottom once you've done so, or all of that information you just went through will not save. Okay, the last piece is the Google Drive integration, and this is a very important piece for you to enable, so let's Listen to that.
We'll look at is the Google Drive integration, and this is really important because this allows you to sync your Google Drive with Schoology and will make uploading assignments so much easier. So to do that, you come up here to Resources, you go to Apps, and then in Apps, you'll select Google Drive Resources, and you'll hit Approve, and then you'll connect, and you do that by signing into your Google Drive. You'll allow, and then once that's connected, you'll have all the information from your Google Drive here connected to Schoology, and you can easily upload those as assignments or other options and things that you need to turn in for a class. So that's Mission Control, and we've covered how to update your profile and add a picture, manage your notifications through the settings, and your Google Drive integration.
Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Stone, but y'all take a minute there and make sure that your Google Drive is integrated to Schoology.
Okay, so now that you've got things set up, one thing you can do when you're in Schoology to get from one folder to another, I just want to point this out really fast, is you can push the next button at the top right of the screen. And so that's what I'm going to do to get to the next page, which is Module 3, Navigation. And there's lots of things in here. We don't have time to go over them all, but we're going to start with course announcements and updates. Now that you have enabled those, I want you to see what it looks like when a teacher puts an announcement or an update within your course.
This will talk about announcements and updates within an individual course. That teachers will give you important information that he or she wants you to see right when you enter the course page. Notice at the top that we're in our English course. What that means is that any announcements or updates you see are coming specifically from the teacher of the course that you're within, in this case, the English course. You'll see an announcement at the top. Announcements are ways that a teacher can put information at the very top of the course page so that it's the first thing you see when you enter. This is usually very important information. It could be text, like maybe announcing a test or tutoring times, or a teacher could put visual information like you see here in the form of a banner. With visual information, teachers can use announcements to link you to information that you need to get. Down here you'll see buttons that I've linked for my students, and just by clicking on one of the buttons, they're able to access things like daily agendas, the syllabus, even the Zoom link to Zoom into the classroom, other things like that. Now, updates are very similar to
I'm actually going to pause it really fast. I know we've had some cutting out of the video in here, but I just want you to take a second and just click on a few of your courses and see if there is an announcement and if there are buttons or links or anything like that. Some of your teachers will only use text. Many of them might not have announcements at this point, but you also might see something like what Mrs. Housley put in her video. Take just a second to look around in your courses and see what you can see. We'll do that for about 30 seconds. Okay, because we're having trouble with some of the audio, I'm just going to show you a little bit about updates that are on here. So updates are over here in the corner on this far left. You'll see it right under materials. And if your teacher has posted a new update since you have looked at the course, it will actually have a little number next to it. And when you click on that, it actually has a running stream of updates. Now, we don't have any in this course right here. It'd be nice if we could show you that. But let's say, as a teacher, I was going to say, welcome. I think, is Miss Hannah typing that right now? So a teacher might put welcome. One thing I would usually put is, hey, make sure you bring something like your calculator or your books for class or something like that. Your teacher might put that on there. They could also put a poll on there. They might say, what is your preferred time for a tutoring session? And they might put a poll that you can vote on. Miss Hannah's going to post one in just a second. And what I want you to see, though, is, let's see. Okay, she put welcome. Today is a great day. And look, you can like that. I also wanted you to notice that you can write a comment. Now, please use this sparingly. So, for instance, if a teacher says, hey, don't forget we have our test on Monday, and you have a question about what the test is over, this is a great place to write that comment. Hey, what is the test going to be over? But please remember to use proper decorum. Your entire class will see this. So this is something to use sparingly about course material, not for jokes. But you can take a second and look in your courses to see what the teacher has included in any updates that you've got in classes so far. Okay, so the one last thing we want to show you, and this is very important this year, so don't check out on us. Because we will be going in back and forth, you might be in Flex Learning or here, and because we are no longer using RenWeb to look at our lesson plans and homework and things like that, we wanted you to be familiar with the system that teachers will be using within Schoology, and that's folders. Now, our video is cutting out a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and play this one so that you can get a feel, and hopefully this will work.
Hello, Legacy students. In this video, we will descriptions and layout within an individual course. If you look on the left here, you'll see that we're in an English course. Teachers will often have a banner in the form of an announcement. So if you see that, you may have to scroll down folders, but they'll always be in this middle section. There are two things that should be standard across all of your courses. The first is how a teacher names a folder. If you're a high school student, the name of a folder will likely be by week. If you're a middle school student, then the folder will likely be named by day. You could, of course, have subfolders within that folder, particularly with weekly folders. If you click on a weekly folder, then day folders could, of course, be inside of that. Folders also will have descriptions here, and this information would be similar to what you might find if you walked into your classroom and looked on the board. Maybe the teacher has put objectives for the day, things that you're going to do, or even homework. Within a Schoology folder, you'll notice learning goals, also a to-do section, maybe with homework there, and a teacher could also put essential questions in that section as well. If you ever go into a Schoology course and you do not see this description, then it could be because that folder has collapsed. So if you look off to the left of this folder here, you'll see that little arrow. You always want that arrow pointing toward the folder. If it's pointing downward, then you'll notice it collapses that description for you. So again, whenever you go into a course, always make sure that arrow is pointing toward the folder. This information read even before you open up a folder, because the teacher could have put important instructions in there or even given you an order.
Okay, so what everybody is probably hearing is that we're having some technical difficulties, because that's another part of the fun of learning how to live stream out some of this stuff. So I know that's not exactly perfect, but here's what I want you to know. This is in here. This folder or this specific video is a really worthwhile one to watch, especially because it walks through what your classes should look like. It walks through understanding what it might look like if your class is set for course completion and things in that way. So it's one we'd like for you to watch. So between now and the next time we meet, I would strongly recommend, not graded, not anything. It's for you and for your benefit of feeling confident in here, is I would love for you to look at this folder descriptions and layout, the locating and customizing your calendar, and how to check your grades. These are short videos. In fact, I think the customizing your calendar and the check grades are like 2 minutes at most on one of those. So check those out. Just make sure you understand that. Some of these areas we didn't do a lot of this past year, customizing a calendar, understanding how things work in the background of being able to set it up. So please make sure to look through these. We're going to pick up with understanding some different types of submissions on Monday. We're doing this Monday and Tuesday, and on Monday we're going to make sure that really that's our biggest day of making sure you know how to submit assignments for your classes. Please make sure, if you have updated things on your profile, please make sure it is appropriate. We will be going back through and reviewing those. So if your picture is something that you might seem questionable, now would be a really good time to fix that. We want you to have that ability because it's a nice way to personalize your course. It's a nice way for us to be able to see you, but it should hopefully be your face and not somebody else's. Have a great day and go to your 6th period class. Thanks, guys.